Going on, family? Alright, alright. Alright, guys, we're just going over some charts here. I'm gonna just look at every single chart going down. Let's see until we get tired or get bored. Oh, let me know some. Let me let some people know what we're going on here. Then we'll be good to go. Live charts. If anyone has questions. Didn't believe it. I'm in love. Alright. First things first, Bitcoin up first. See what Bitcoin's talking about here. BTC, so you guys already know how to come in here. If you watch my other videos, you know how to set your moving averages, set your trend lines, set up your charts. But when you wake up in the morning, this is what you do. Come in here, see what's going on in the world of crypto. We're gonna remove these old drawings that we see right now. This purple line is the 20-week moving average, 140-day, 20-week moving average. And this orange line is the 72-day moving average. Boom. We already know what's been going on with Bitcoin. We got the 1-day chart. Like Bitcoin's setting up a little floor right here. You can see how things just come right down and sit on this floor, right? Boom, sat on that floor, went back up, sat on the floor. So now we got to figure out, is it going to go under this right here? Going to go under its 20-week moving average, which is 48,892. And we know that Bitcoin's been in that range, right? It's been in this range for a while now. Boom. Stop. It's been pretty much bouncing off of this range here. So we know that's what's been going on with Bitcoin. Alright, let's see what we think is going to happen here. Look at the previous Fibonacci retracements, right? So we'll run a reverse fib from this top down to the 20-week. First fib. Hopefully it'll come back up into this range, but if it drops any lower than this, the next level we're looking for it to get up to is 52, which if you listen to any YouTubers like I do, that's pretty much what they've been saying. We'll probably bounce back to a 52 level. We're going to stay between 52 and 48. That's the ranges that we're working with right now. So until we can get back to those all-time highs, these are the levels we're looking at. Boom. Go ahead and remove this. That one, that's the 52 one, that one can stay. Now we have a good idea of our range. See what's going on inside the 4-hour chart. No pattern that I specifically see as far as like any head and shoulders or anything like that. MACD. Looks like we're starting to come back up on the MACD side, so that's a good sign. We're not in the oversold territory. I could see Bitcoin making a little fight back and trying to push back up to its 52 level, or at least trying to cross this level first. 49,910. Let's call it 50K. I think Bitcoin will probably bounce up to 50K here within the next, time is it 7:43. We're gonna do it 4 hours right now. All right, so we'll set our target to be about right here. This is 4, so this will take us into Sunday at minimum. Nah, that's too long. Get up here at the latest by 1 o'clock tomorrow. That's our price target on Bitcoin. Boom. We think it's going to move up from here and keep coming up. Let's see if we can set a trend line on it. Trend line. Wow. Set our other trend line. Wow. And there we have it. This. Now this is what we're working with, right? So now in the best case scenario, or not best case scenario, but just a scenario that we would like, especially if you're a Bitcoin bull, is you want it to bounce off of this line here, this floor. Let me reset this floor. When you get into the 4-hour chart, it's obviously a little bit different. So wow. What we want is that bounce, just keep bouncing off this floor, and eventually we want it to bounce off this floor and just start slowly pushing back up until it can get a breakout above this 52. So the first thing we're watching for though is for it to cross this line right here. It's the first thing we're watching for it to cross 49,962, 49,809, somewhere around there. All right, and that's Bitcoin. Boom, one down, 100 to go. All right, so that was Bitcoin. Let's go next. Ethereum, ETH. Ethereum, just get some quick stats. I could just type it in here, but I'm just pulling this up for the stream so that way people see like, oh, what are we looking at? All right, so Ethereum. Now we're on to Ethereum. And actually it might help me a lot better when I finally do start to edit this. Also, just noticing now, the 24-hour volume across all cryptocurrencies is 204 billion, which anytime it's under 200 billion, it's low volume. So right now we're kind of trending towards the lower side, or average, I guess you could say, side. ETH's dominance dropped a little bit. It was up to 20. So let's get into Ethereum. I usually use the Binance contracts just because I trade on Binance, so it makes the most sense for me to click on those. But usually if you do Kraken, they have a longer data set, a longer data history set, so you might be able to get further data points back then. Right now, I'm not going further back. I'm just looking at what's going on in the current charts that I see. All right. Ethereum is nowhere near its moving averages. It's inside the RSI, so it's not quite overbought and it's not quite yet undersold. MACD. MACD looks like it's starting to slide back down. So this is something we want to keep an eye on. If this orange line goes over our blue line, then that is more of a bearish signal for us than bullish. So keep an eye on that. Let's check out how far away we are from our 72-day moving average. All right, so it's 89%. Oof. Now what we're pretty much just gonna do is throw Fibonacci on here. Fibonacci retest. Try to pull up. I can try to draw a trend line from here actually. Boom. Got nothing on this side though. That come back to line shit. Niggas still home. We gonna light the city up as if my son was in the night shift. Anybody heard that new J. Cole? Whew. Cole was the king and we know that. Started with $1 and a dream and you know that. To the left of that decimal, I'm gonna need like 6 figures to play the joint. Alright, so you still have some time to make a decision. You still have some time to make a decision, right? Especially if we're on the 4-hour chart like we are. Got today being the 15th. Got until the beginning of the 17th for ETH to really make a decision, which puts us at what, Monday. So you know how the weekends get crazy sometimes with this crypto. So Bitcoin 49.4, ETH 39.11. Right now, what we're really just watching is ETH gonna break out of this trend line, or is it gonna go below it? I wouldn't be buying ETH right now. I'd be kind of waiting to figure that out, because if it goes below it, then that's good and it'll give us better entries. And I know you guys like prices, so let's figure out what a price is that we can get for you. Going down. Let's come down to the moving average. And then some people might be asking like, oh, why, like, how do I know where to go down to, or why would I go down to this level? The reason why I come down here is because this is a moving average, right? And you can, if you just look back, you can see that it likes to be around its moving average. I mean, for the people that know what averages are, you know, that's usually where it averages to be. So if it likes to be around the moving average, that's where I'm going to set my Fibonacci, because if it does trend down that way, then it most likely will be heading right to our moving average. So that's the only reason why I'm using that. It looks like this is an old drawing I drew back here, but as you can see, it crossed the moving average and went back up, which would have been a go long signal, especially when you have it over the moving average here, over the MACD here, the blue line over. So we got this over, we got the blue line over, and we got the RSI blue line over. Now it was also oversold, but those are our indicators. So we got a check mark there, check mark there, check mark there. We go long, and if we would have went long, which actually I did go long on this. This is one of my entries. I bought Ethereum at 1600. So boom, you buy 1600 here, you hold or hodl, and then got the nice run up. Now we're seeing if we're going to pull back towards this area or what we're going to do. I don't think that will actually fall down to $2,317 Ethereum, but that's the reasoning why, if anybody was wondering like, oh, why is he just clicking on that? All right. Now let's pull ETH a little higher. So if our high point was 4,300, we'll go with. And if it retraces to our golden level of Fibonacci, that gives us 35.85, which you can see it's exactly where it came down to and bounced again. I don't know if you guys can quite see that or how well you can see it, but you see this golden level? Golden level. Look exactly where the wicks and almost the bottoms came down to. Right near our golden level. And then of course it went right back up. And now let's see if it retraces right back down to about our golden level. Or because we have this trend line here, it might retrace right to this trend line and then go back up. So we could set an entry on this trend line, right? this is what we're doing with this data. This is the reason why we're doing the charts, to get entry points, to figure out just a little bit more information of like, okay, what's really going on with this. So you're not so blindly just throwing your money in there. And now, obviously, the people that are better at technical analysis, you know, they'll have better entries. But if you're just starting out, at least you can gain confidence, right? So this is how I started really gaining confidence in crypto, because I was like, okay, well, let me do what I've been watching, what I've been learning. And if it does go right to that trend line, then we would set our entry point at 3,700, 3,800, which most people have been buying at, right? That's the level that when ETH's pulled back, it's usually pulled back to about 3,800, and that's where people have been buying. So we would go ahead and just set a reminder on the right hand side. You see that plus sign? This is where we thought it might land to. So we come over here, boom, set a plus sign, add alert for ETH at 3,758. Now, let's say we want to get in and we're not really quite worried about that, you know, extra 50 bucks, then we would just move it up, right? So we would just move it up to, instead of the right there, where it was 3,748, and we're like, okay, well, that's the perfect entry, but let's see if we can just move it up a little bit and get in at 3812 or something, right? Or at least get an alert set for that. So that way, if it crosses that, we get that alert, and then we can go ahead and make a decision whether we want to buy or buy. What's up, JT? What's up, Jason? How you doing, my brother? Uh-oh, I think my battery's dying. Give me 1 second. Battery's dying in my headphones. Course, right? These are the issues with live. Oh, maybe it didn't die. All right, I still see it moving, so should be good to go. All right, boom. So that's ETH. So now we got an entry for ETH. Got an entry at ETH at 3812, which isn't like rocket science, right? Like these are the entries that people have been saying. These are the prices that people have been talking about. But that's because they're doing their own technical analysis and they're finding out, you know, similar answers. So that's why that is what it is. So for ETH, we got, let me pull up like a notepad or something here. So, right, so for BTC, we said the range is going to be from 52K through 48K with the entry of 48,500, right? And then for ETH, our range was, let's look real quick back. Oh, we didn't quite set one, but it's 3,400 to level right here that it's at now, 42. So for ETH, 3,400 with the entry at 38. And you're like, okay, well, why wouldn't our entry be at 34, right? Because we're trying to get an entry where we can still get into the game. So that's why our entry is at 38, even though our lower range is 34. So similar to Bitcoin, entries at 48,500, even though the floor is 48, and even 48,800. All right, so we got two down. Two down. Real quick, we'll just pull this back up. This is Ethereum. Let's go back. Now we're on to Binance. Binance Coin, $590. Binance has just been running up. It's a really good project. Obviously, it's one of the biggest exchanges out. So if we were doing fundamental analysis, obviously we just come down here, read a little bit about what Binance is, who's backing it, um, and then once you have that information, you would literally just boom, about Binance Coin, and boom, you'd do your Googles. That's it. We're doing our Googles. We're finding out, who runs the coin, who's the CEO, what real world problem does it solve, all those good questions that I've already covered in previous videos. So once you do all that, then we chart it. And I know this is what people really want to see. So boom, BNB. Again, I use Binance, so I'm using the Binance chart. Already we can just tell right off the gate, right? We can see here our MACD is over, which is a good sign. Our RSI is actually under. Our RSI is actually under. So that's not really a check mark. So we want this blue line to be over. We want our blue lines to be on top. So see here it was on top. It was on top and then it went under. So we want our blue lines to be on top. Blue lines on top. Alright, so BNB is currently at 591. Let's see, what the first thing we're doing, right guys? What are we trying to find? That moving average. Let's go find our moving averages so that way we can paint a better picture of what's been going on with it. Alright. And then we're looking back now to see when's the last time we touched our moving averages. When's the last time it came around our home. Boom. Call moving averages the home because that's where it likes to live at. That's where we want to. Oh, there it is. This was the last time it was around the home, right? Price was 54 bucks. This is February. This is in February, guys. This is only 3 months ago. If you learn how to do these chartings, then you'll be cool because you'll start charting, you'll see these. So this is what we're looking for right now. We're looking to find these coins that are around their moving averages of $51 and let them ride all the way up to 600. So this is what's important. This was the last time in February. Now we know the last time it touched the moving average. Now we're going to measure up how high is it from the moving average right now. 59% above its moving average right now. Okay, $254 above it. So we know that information. We would draw trend lines. Alright, so now we're going to draw trend lines real quick. Wait! Oh, 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 can't touch this. I don't know why it just popped in my head, but I wanted to share it with y'all. Alright, trend lines. Boom. Go. Run it down. We want it to touch. Boom. Just let it touch. Alright, so it looks like it has a decision to make here. It looks like Binance has a decision to make here. It should be making this decision pretty soon. Especially this is a 4-hour chart to 1 hour. Yeah. So it looks like Binance could be primed for a breakout. A breakout! Especially if this MACD can stay over and the stochastics can stay over. So this is in the 1 hour. In the 1 hour, we're bullish. In the 1 hour, we got pretty much buy signs or go long signs. But in the 4 hour, we're still waiting for this to be back on top, above the red. MACD looks good, and it's above our moving average. So Binance, we'll keep an eye on it. We're going to see if it's going to break under this trend line or break out up above. Right? So then, after we do all this, we're going to throw on our Fibonacci. What we get from that. We're going to take our Fibonacci down to our moving average. That's right. I heard you guys say it. That was phenomenal. Good job. I use a Nike Run app, and that's like, they'll come in with little quotes like that. You're doing great. Good job. All right, 0.618. Boom, it fell down to this level. So it did hit that little drop right there. It fell back up. Now it's sitting 588. Want to know if it's going. You want to know if it's going to break out to the next level, right? So 588, the next level will be 632 up here. We're on the 4-hour chart. So let's see. Get it to break out. That would be where we're looking to go. right? So if we had all our check marks, boom, 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 then we could go ahead and put in a long position as a trade. So I know I kind of confuse guys sometimes because sometimes like, oh, this is a buy. I need to get better at saying this is a buy as in a trade and this is a buy as in like a long-term play. But usually I'm trading. I like to day trade, so mostly I'm talking about tape trading. And if I'm talking about long-term, I like specifically say Cardano. It's a long-term play and hold. Shout outs to Cardano. Um, okay, yeah, so boom. It would hit this level right here is what we're hoping for. So Binance, break out to these trend lines, over this, go up to the next level, and hit around right here, 634, 632. And if not, if it goes under our trend, we look for it to fall down to 558 before keep going down to 526 and so on and so forth. So this one we can keep a pretty close eye on because it should be happening pretty soon within the next say, by 9 a.m. So it's 8 o'clock right now. So we got the hourly close in 56 minutes, the 4-hour close, right? And that'll give us a good education on what's going to happen next. So we got in 1 hour this candle will close and a new one will be formed right here. And then in this new candle, it'll pretty much have to. When that new candle is formed right here, it'll pretty much have to make a decision if it's going to form and go up, form and go down, right? And it could go either way. Like J. Cole, shit could go either way. It could go up, it could go down. We don't know what's going to happen, right? So this is what we're looking for. But we're getting bullish sentiment. And now we're going to look at the actual candle wicks. So green, if the body of the candle is longer than the wick, that's a good sign. But we can see the body of these candles are not longer than the wick. So we got to wait to see what happens. Drizzy said it. We'll see what happens next. All right. On to the next. On to the next. On to the next one. Ooh, Cardano. And we're just going to do the top 5 for right now. Just because that's what we're doing. So boom, Cardano's the next one, up 20% in the last 24 hours. Jesus, you're a beast. Here we go. Cardano, Binance. Last time you see it, just look how long Cardano gave you an opportunity to buy it, right? Gave you an opportunity to buy it. Gave you opportunity to buy it. Oh, this is a 4-hour. Let's go to the 1 day. I be playing God, please. Okay, other side. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Just look how long Cardano is just chilling here. Just like, oh, I'm just hanging out. Hanging out. No big deal. Just staying exactly where I'm supposed to be. All these times are good times to start accumulating it. So pretty much since October 2019, and probably further back, is just to make my point. I don't need to go further back, but so October 2019 to this point, let's just say it was never above 20 cents. So you could have bought Cardano in the past year pretty much for under 20 cents. And it starts to take off. Boom. Get this humongous run up. Our RSI is above and it's oversold. Our MACD is above. So these are two good signs. Even though you don't really want this blue line to be above into the white when you're actually purchasing, but you do want the blue line to be over the red. So that's a big deal. So you got that. So we got one check mark here, right? We got a check mark on this blue line. We got a check mark. Oops. Got a check mark on that blue line. So the MACD is above, the RSI is above, and now we just look at the main chart. And we're on the daily again. So we're going to switch that from a daily Oh my goodness. So it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. All right, boom. Let's go to a 4 hour. Boom. 4 hour chart. MACD still above. RSI is fighting. Would have been a go long sign, right? This would have been go long because we had this line over, we had this line over, and it just crossed the moving average. That would have been a huge buy sign for us. And would you look at that, $123. I started buying 8 at about 50, 70 cents, and I stopped buying 8 at about $1.30. So, not too bad. Not too bad of a call. And then we got this run up. Wow. Now we got this huge run up here. Let's throw in the fib from the start of this trend, right? The start of that trend, we throw in this Fibonacci. Boom, run up. If it were to retrace, it would most likely retrace to these levels here, or these levels. So if it goes all-time high, it might fall back down there. But Cardano is pushing so strongly that who knows? We might just get a run up all the way up before it quite levels off. So not really sure. We got to see what happens. We got this was it's a 4 hour. Add small accumulation. Let's see what happens just from this latest trend. One second, let me remove all this stuff. So when you look at it from here, right, it started consolidating just for a little bit, just for a day or two. Then it ran up again. Run it out, run it out, run it out, run it out. Oh, stay on my dinner, run it out. Alright, so in this scenario, we're only looking at this very recent trend, and the pullback would be to $2.05, which I think could happen, but we got to remember that a lot of things are based off of what Bitcoin is doing. So if Bitcoin is chilling and it's like not moving, it's not going crazy, it's just being real stable, then we can have A to continue to move up. We can have A to continue to push. But if Bitcoin decides to drop very drastically or decides to go up very drastically, then it's going to cause issues for these other altcoins. So do want to remember that. I don't know what just happened. All of a sudden there we go, 49.3, down 3% today. So you can see Bitcoin's down. Other things are down too. But Bitcoin's going to determine the market, right? So if Bitcoin is chilling between our range, like what did we say our range was? Let's pull up our old chart that we already did for Bitcoin. Hopefully it's saved. And hopefully my internet starts working. Like, I'm hardwired and everything. What the heck's going on here, man? What the heck? Alright, BTC. Again, we're going to pull it up on Binance. Boom, we still got all our drawings here. Perfect. And what did we say about Bitcoin? We said that we need Bitcoin to chill out right in this range, right? In between its 48 and the 52. And that's exactly what it's doing. If it can stay like this, let's change this to a 1 day. Basically need Bitcoin to just stay in that range and just keep on chilling, keep on chilling, keep on chilling. As long as it can do that, then it can give us room for these other coins to really make a move, and these can continue up. But if Bitcoin decides to drop from this number, 1 second. So this is what we're looking at right here, guys. See these deadly wicks? We need something that's more stable than these wicks. This is unstable for Bitcoin. We need, see how this is full and just has a little bit of lines, a little bit of wicks at the top and bottom? Full with a little bit of a wick, full with a little bit of wicks. We do not like these high and low wicks because that just means it's irrational. We don't know what it's going to do. No one's trying to be around somebody that's super irrational and you don't know what they're going to do, right? Even though that's the entire crypto space, so it is what it is. But yeah, so this is going to tell a story, right? If it can stay between these two lines, If it can stay between the two lines here, one and this one, stay in this range, that will allow our altcoins like ADA to continue running, making all-time highs. If not, if Bitcoin starts to pull back or drops below this line and closes, it's a big thing. If it closes below that line, then we know if it closes below that line, then Cardano is going to start to pull back. And that's when we're going to get excited, because that's when we're going to get our buy entries. That's when we're going to get down to these levels. So for now, Bitcoin stays stable. You can see it has a decision to make. These lines are trend lines, and they basically make a decision, right? So Bitcoin could either break under this, under our 58.5, and then continue under our trend line. And then if that happens, it's who knows? It could just keep going and keep going down, all the way down to about 27,000. But it doesn't happen. If it breaks resistance instead, and instead it just stays between these lines, and it, oops, uh-oh. It just stays between these lines, and then it bounces up, then that'll help as well. But the ultimate thing that we want is for Bitcoin to pretty much just do this, right? We want it to just sit for the next few days, few hours, just hang out right here, just stay inside this box. If it can stay inside this box, then that'll allow our other altcoins to continue moving up. And if it doesn't, again, the altcoins will start to pull back. So boom, that's what we got for Cardano. I can try to draw some trend lines over here, but it's in pretty much like price discovery mode, so aren't going to be too helpful, as Cardano's already out finding a new floor, a new home to sit on. Yeah, so that's really not much to do with that. But in case you forgot, let's do this Fibonacci on one more time to give you guys your entries. Now we're just doing this new trend here, the start of this new trend. 205. So the new pullback range is 205. So we got 177 for a big pullback. Got the next one, 188. And if you're dollar cost averaging, guys, that means you can just dollar cost average into all these spots. And we got 205. So these are going to be the spots you want to look for to get into Cardano. 177, 188, 205. It hits 205. Let's say you got $100, right? So you got $100. It hits 205, you put in $33. It hits 188, you put in another $33. It hits 177, you put in the final $34 or whatever. And that now you've put your $100 in, and you dollar cost average your way into it, and you're not spending all $100 at 205. And then when it comes down to 177, you're like, oh, why did I do that? You know, this is going to help with the emotion part. And again, that's if Bitcoin starts to fall below this trend line. Now, if Bitcoin just goes up and goes crazy, then this is pretty much null and void, because that means this will probably continue to go up, or at least probably won't have such a big pullback. It'll probably start to stabilize to where you just see bars right here, consolidate, 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 until Bitcoin finds a new home, and then it'll continue. Can't tell I really like drawing with this thing. I think it's cool. Hi, Mom. Love you. Alright, let's get to this last one. Last one here is Doge. Doge is gonna round it out for us. Unless there's any suggestions, I don't know, got anybody in the chat right now. So unless there's any suggestions on any other coins, I'm gonna round it off on Doge. Run it up, run it up, run it up, run it up. First things first, find this moving average. Boom. This was the last time it was near it. 0.5 cents. Went crazy since then. Measure it up. Currently, right now, 115% above its moving average. Wow. This is what is going on with Doge. Shout out Dogecoin Daddy if you end up seeing this. This guy that I helped learn a little bit, helped teach him a little bit about crypto. His Twitter name is Dogecoin Daddy. Thought it was funny. So shout out to you, my man. Alright, so Bitcoin looks like it could, I'm sorry, Bitcoin. Dogecoin looks like it could retrace to about 0.45, right? Now, Dogecoin has an army around it, so I'm not saying this will happen. Who knows what could happen with this? But it could retrace to about 0.45. You can put an entry there, and then it'll probably pop back up. I don't really want to spend too much time going over Dogecoin, so MACD is above, our size under. 45 cents is your entry. Other than that, that's all I got to say about that. Alright, guys. I think that's going to do it for right now. We got the Accountability Club Zoom call coming up, and I'll talk to you then. Be safe. Appreciate y'all. Like, subscribe, all that. Hashtag don't forget to pay. Pay me what you owe me. Peace out.